No, Mr. Senator, I was the one who took you out of the rut where you were imprisoned in Camp Crame. I never did this before. I went out of my way to talk to people so that you can get back here in the Senate, and I guaranteed your presence here. But I'm not saying this because
Precisely
I want you
you're saying
to
it, Mr.
owe
President.
any favor to me. I'm just putting that on record to show the character of each one of us here. Okay, second, I'm sure that you resented my statement when we were in the cabinet, when you were presenting your supposed position as against the position of the Department of Foreign Affairs, when President Aquino invited me to attend a cabinet meeting on the Scarborough problem, and I told you, who authorized you to make a backroom negotiation with the Chinese for the Scarborough?
Yes, and the
And
president.
you were telling me about treason, remember?
Yes, and
That
the president
Secretary of just a minute.
answered you directly that he authorized me. He told it in your face, Mr. President.
What? Yes, that's correct.
Oh, that's correct.
I accepted that because I
precisely.
did not know that you were authorized. But the fact is that I asked you, whom did you talk to in China?
I don't need to report to the Senate President, Mr. President.
You have a duty
I
to
am not,
report what you do
obliged.
as a senator to this chamber. And in fact, you have a duty to notify the office of the Senate President when you leave this country to go abroad.
But I did
And
not.
the only time that I have authorized you is one time. I do not know how many times you have been to China. My understanding is you have been to China talking to the Chinese government for 6 times already.
Yes. And I
And
did
that you
not.
have met them 15 or 16 times. For
Yes.
what reason? We do not know. Are you becoming a fifth columnist of the Chinese in this country?
The Senate President is not privy to the backroom channel talks, and I'm not obliged in any way to
I think you
divulge.
have a duty to inform the people.
I'm not. I have already informed the people, but not the Senate President. I'm not obliged to report to the Senate President, and all this line of questioning is irrelevant again. And should this line of questioning continue, I will have to say that I will refuse to yield anymore the floor.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you a question. You went to China. You asked the ambassador of the Philippines there, Madam Brady, for a meeting, and you said, do not take notes during our conversation. And you called the Secretary of Foreign Affairs a traitor. In fact, you told me that he committed treason.
Yes, it was an executive session, and we're not supposed to
And I
divulge
will
what's
read.
happening in
You
the.
want? I will read it to
What-
the record your conversation with Brady
But it's
and his
supposed to
notes to the Department of Foreign
It's
Affairs.
supposed to be a confidential matter.
Yes, but there's nothing
So,
confidential.
even in the executive meeting, cabinet meeting, in the cabinet meeting in Malacanang, Mr. President, I will refuse to answer if that's
Because
going
you
to be the
cannot
line.
answer the
No,
questions I'm
because
going
it's
to ask
going
you
to
about
be
your
improper
meeting.
in this particular interpellation.
Because you cannot answer
I
the
can
questions
answer.
I'm going to
I
ask
can
you.
answer, but I won't be baited into that trap.
You met,
The point
you met
here
Brady.
is, Mr. President, this is
Mr.
how I
President,
felt.
may I request this gentleman
Mr. President,
to
in
be
that case,
admonished.
I will refuse to yield the floor anymore
Well,
for
in that case, I
any
will read
interpellation.
into the record the notes that Mrs. Brady or Ambassador Brady